Hey everybody, how are you? Day, I don't know, 72 in the world of quarantining and staying inside. Chris Duvall here, Salt Lake City, Utah, and just kind of feeling a little, honestly, a little sort of like, wow, what a time our world is in, man. It's just like, it's just very. Just a very scary time and a very important time and lots of change needed in the world and lots of horrible things happening, and I'm finding more and more that trying to stay creative and wanting to stay creative is something that really provides a lot of comfort and a lot of meaning in my own life. So I think that it's important to stay healthy and strong, and or a lot of us are inside right now or spending a lot of time not connecting with other people in real life, only on like YouTube or FaceTime or whatever, and it's hard. That's just hard, and our whole lives have changed in so many ways. I mean, it's really hard, and so not to be too much of a downer, but I thought there's this hobby of mine, painting, is like something I've become really like invested in and like really excited by. I was always one of those kids growing up that kind of sucked at art. I was like, I don't have the art gene. I don't have whatever that is to do visual art. I've been an actor and a director and stuff, but so I do that art. But in terms of being a painter, I was like, nah. But somewhere along the way, my wife and I, ex-wife and I, we gave our child some watercolor pencils, and I was like, holy crap, these are awesome. And I've just really been inspired and interested to try and get better doing art. So that's partially what this channel is all about. It's just a visual journey of my progress and questions I'm exploring and things I'm trying to work on. This piece of art behind me is a total copy from a artist named Robert Gearhart. So I learned a lot by painting that, and so I thought I would just take a little bit of time. I'm kind of stuck inside today for a few hours, and I want to get out and do some painting, but I gotta get some things done at home. But I thought I'd take some time to just sort of show some of the paintings I've been working on and sort of see how see what you think about them. Let me know what you think about them. I'm sure there's a billion artists out there who are much more skillful and experienced than I am by far. and but I'm really enjoying the process of learning, staying curious. There's a great quote that I've always been inspired by: replace ambition with curiosity. And I'm really inspired by that quote. Like, what is it to just be curious about a thing and to practice it for the love of practicing it, not without the goal of becoming like a genius at it. So I thought I would just share some of the paintings I've been working on, some of the things I've been exploring, and comment below if you want, and let me know what you think of your work, or post pictures of your work, and just a way to connect right now. So this is a painting of a picture I downloaded off the internet, and just working on it's still a little wet. Just working on the ocean. I love the ocean. Oh my gosh, this guy named Richard Chamberlain, his channel is so beautiful, and his paintings are just to die for, and it's just so great. I love the ocean and I miss it, but I'm just so like, it's impossible to paint moving water and I love the challenge of it. So I've been doing a lot of ocean paintings. I also love mountains, and I just love nature, and I love the outdoors, and I love water and wild places, and trying to learn how to paint, shrubbery and plants. This got a little sort of like generic for me. I want to get more. It's kind of like, oh yeah, typical mountain plants on a lake, but it was fun to paint. There's this great island, kind of island. It's called Antelope Island near where I live, and this artist named Renato Mucillo, something like that. Renato Mucillo. He does these absolutely amazing cloud paintings, and I wanted to learn some of those from him. So I kind of, this doesn't nearly do his work justice, but at any rate, my daughter and I went out to this place called Antelope Island, and it's this beautiful island out in the middle of the Great Salt Lake, and you can see for miles, and these paths wind and twist everywhere, and I just really enjoyed the idea of painting a sky but not painting it blue. Who would have thought that like painting a sky like gray and purple would be cool, but I really liked working on this. This is just a little painting of rocks and these sort of Asian-looking, I don't know what they are, trees. These cool trees that I always associate with, like, I always associate with Asia for some reason. I'm not sure if that's accurate or not, but I practice a martial art called Aikido. That's a black belt certificate up there, and I just love sort of simple paintings like this, and trying to find the balance between how do you get detail but not like overly invest in it. I don't know. But I'm also like super fascinated with detail. Like this guy Andrew Tischler on YouTube, brilliant painter, and he can paint some of the most detailed, gorgeous landscapes I think I've ever seen. And so I am also attracted to detailed landscapes as well as loose ones. Oh look, this one is white as well. Well, there you go. I'm attracted to both detailed and loose landscapes, and so trying to find my style, or whatever that means, of like how do you paint something in a super highly detailed way. That's something I definitely want to explore. This was a plein air painting of a little river, stream, lake place in Sugar House. In Salt Lake City, not Sugar House. Sugar House is a suburb of Salt Lake City. Anyway, it was a plein air painting, and it came out really kind of, just blue. And I let it get a little dry, and then I did some some detail work within it. Within it, and. I really enjoyed the process of going out and painting something plein air, and then coming back and filling in some of the details a little bit and with oil. And that was really fun, and I really enjoyed it. And I want to get my paintings though to look. This to me looks a little sort of cartoonish. I mean, they all do in a certain way. So I want to get my paintings to look a little more lifelike and a little more, a little less gauche. Is that the word? Gauche. Not gouache, but gauche, like bright colors and stuff. It's just like things that look a little more lifelike. I think that's the direction I want. Like this. Again, another little, very colorful painting. This tree got really out of control. And a beautiful sunset at the same park. I'm interested in learning how to paint trees better, That was just like a mess, but I sure had fun doing it. I used to live in Ashland, Oregon, and this was a creek there. This was a stream bed there, and not crazy about like I'm not crazy about just how fast this line is. I think they call this a fast line out of the painting, as well as this. But I do like some of this glow back in here, and I think I could have gotten more specific about some of the foliage in here and stuff, and include some more, as I said, sort of like variations of rocks and water. But I painted this first with there's a YouTube video I made of this doing this, but I painted this first with acrylic and then oil over the top. And there's this great YouTuber, Chuck Black Art, and he does these absolutely in Montana gorgeous paintings. Paints mostly with acrylic, really gets fairly detailed with them, and then goes over the top of them with oil, and it's amazing. And I would love to learn how to do that a little bit more. I have a subscription to this great magazine called Plein Air Magazine, and I think this was a picture that I cut out of Plein Air Magazine, and I tried to find who the artist was, but I wasn't able to remember or figure it out, and I did a reverse Google search, and I just couldn't figure it out. Anyway, doing master studies I think is really cool, because this isn't my composition, my art at all. This is just a copy of someone else's work, and I learned a lot. The tree trunks got a little thick, for me and stuff, and that's not the way the master artist did them. Now, obviously the master artist's rendition of this was much better, but something really helpful about trying to learn how someone else solves some issues, some of the darkness in here. Oftentimes when I'm painting water, I think, well, it's got to be blue. Well, no. And some of the variation of the trees back in here, and some of the just like impressionistic style that the artist used with painting some of these trees up top here, and just the composition. I didn't do as good a job. His river kind of came, or her river came more, was much more subtle. But really interesting process of trying to copy someone else's work. It's one of the reasons why I'm trying to practice doing a lot of drawing too right now, is they say that drawing is the foundation of painting, and so trying to learn to draw more and to really sort of do observational drawing has I think helped some of my paintings. So I got to continue that. This also was a painting I posted on YouTube a few days ago, but I went out to a park in Salt Lake City, and the clouds were just stunningly, overpoweringly gorgeous and big and looming, and I wanted to try and capture some of that, and I think I did a little bit, but yeah, man, you can spend a lifetime learning to paint clouds and still only get it half right. I'm kind of intrigued by what happened in here in this area. That kind of looks three-dimensional to me, I think, a little bit. And so there was something happening in there. I'm trying to learn also. I'm trying to learn everything, right? It's just like, so much to learn. I wish I'd gotten started when I was 5, like all the rest of the brilliant artists out there on YouTube. But I'm trying to learn, values, like how things in closer to you have more reds and yellows in them, and greens, and as they get further away, they become more blue, and so and they become less sharp. And so I'm trying to learn how to do that. And got a long way to go, obviously, but I'm having a good time. This was purely an acrylic painting. I had a good time painting this. Was it acrylic? Yeah, it was acrylic, and then I did another oil over the top of it. And there's something really fun about acrylic painting, I have to say, because it dries so fast. It doesn't blend as well, obviously, because it dries so fast, but it does dry fast, and you can quickly go over the top of things, I like that process of painting something with acrylic, because then you get structures down, and then going over the top of it with oil just deepens the color and just makes things pop a little bit more. It's really cool. I really like the process of that. It's really fun. And then, my most recent video posting was of this, was of this, little waterfall creeky area in Salt Lake, and it's still sort of wet, but I had a great time painting it. I go into every painting and I'm like, man, I do not know how to do this. I don't know how. How do you paint? How do you freaking paint rocks with water going over them? I don't know. But I just go in and I dive in. I'm like, there's only so much reading or watching YouTube videos that you can do. You could spend a lifetime like researching how to do something, and ultimately you just got to get out and do it, and be okay with failing. And as they say, the only thing that is different from a master artist as compared to someone who is not a master artist, an amateur, is just the master artist has failed a whole lot more than someone who isn't a master, and so I'm really interested in failing, and practicing and putting in the time, and it's really helpful for me personally, and I'm really grateful for art in this time of our lives. So anyway, I hope you all are staying safe, stay healthy, wash your hands, wear those masks, whatever it is that you feel is needed and necessary. And I certainly have a mask with me almost everywhere I go. So stay healthy, stay safe, and stay creative, and yeah. Let me know what you think. Let me know, you experienced artists out there, I imagine pretty much anyone who's watching this video has got more experience than I do. So I've only been painting really in oil for about a year, and pretty consistently for a year. But and I've been dabbling with watercolor and gouache and acrylic and drawing for I guess maybe 10 years now, but really just dabbling, just kind of like, oh, look, a watercolor study or watercolor sketch or a gouache sketch or an acrylic sketch, or doing a lot of drawing and stuff. But I just really want to commit to getting better. And this channel is about staying curious and replacing ambition with this deep curiosity I have about what it means to be a painter. Be well, everybody. See you next time.